catch! The chase is on!
Our ballista, your command.
I didn't realize he passed. Crap. Crap. Oh, wait. Let's see what my art is. Oh, that thing stays out.
I smell a leak.
My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me. There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die.
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
As ordered. Ow!
Feel any burning? See a local healer or wise woman.
You mad? Don't shake that! This could hurt.
Armor won't save.
Oh yeah, this dude's so doomed. that, and there we go.
You sure about that?
I didn't have any more trinkets. Pooh.
Ha!
One bolt's all I need.
There we go. Bounce up and straight to the mountain there.
The Lyrians ascended the highest section of the Mahakam Range. Snow crunched under their boots, cold air stung their lungs, and the wind snapped at their cloaks. Meve wiped sweat from her brow and turned to Reynard.
There! By the rocks! We shall...
The rest of her words were drowned out by a powerful blast. The entire mountain rumbled with a low, vibrating roar. The sound grew louder, echoing off the rocks, splitting their ears. The Lyrians looked around, disoriented. Few heard Gabor's warning.
Dinna just stand there! Get behind a rock! Quick! Hurry!
Meve followed the dwarf's gaze and cried out in terror. The
Avalanche.
snow stuck to the mountainside had started to slide down the slope, sending up mists of icy dust. Before she could react, the white torrent knocked her to her knees, crushing her and smothering her into the ground. All she felt after that was all-encompassing cold and fear. Meve survived. The dwarves who ran to the Lyrians' rescue dug her out of the snow in time. Some of her soldiers were not so lucky. The queen looked at their bodies, blue, frozen. Next to them lay dead horses, demolished wagons. The losses were enormous. Meve wiped her cheek. Her tears burned her frozen skin. Gabor spoke a while with the leader of the Mahakam Guard Patrol that had come to their rescue. His face was dour.
What? What have you learned?
I tell you all in good time. First, you need a warm drink, good victuals.
No, Gabor. I need to find out what in blazes happened here.
Well, 'twas an avalanche.
Of course it was an avalanche. I'm no fool. But what caused it? What was that noise?
Signal horns. Ours.
So you brought this snow down on us? Dwarves!
Well, aye, but, unawares.
Explain, in brief.
See, we clean our mount regularly. The way menfolk shovel snow off their roofs. Otherwise, the whole shebang would come tumbling down on our heads. When snow's gathered deep enough, we blast our horns to cause a controlled avalanche. Then we need to, sweep up a wee bit and the road's safe.
All well and good, but why did you decide to clean up right as I was passing through?
Wondering that myself. Schedule says next cleaning should have been a week frae now. but someone asked the route to be cleared earlier.
Who?
Maeve, I'll tell you. But first, promise you'll...
Who?
Hey. Owain Ep Clenvok, the Nilfgaardian emissary. Must have found out you'd be going through.
The bastard. Reynard! Reynard!
Wait! Wait! I understand you're a wee bit upset, you've every right. But you'll never prove Owain meant you harm. The sly weasel will make sure he didn't dirty his own paws.
I've no such scruples. I'll find him and kill him.
And then? How'd you tell that tale to Bruva? Maeve, you're justly torqued, but for the love, just this once, let it go. Or you'll leave Mahakam with near a scrap to show for it.
Moments later, scouts reported Owain was camped to the north of the accident site. Maeve had to decide how much she was willing to risk to get her revenge on the Imperial emissary.
Oh. So that's him up there, isn't it?
By the Elder's sideburns, I'd no notion anyone was in the Vale. Nilfgaardian said the road was clear. The whoresons. What a mess. I'm so sorry. With all my heart. Nilfgaardian said the road was...
There's the Nilfgaardians. So the Nilfgaardians are right there. And what's up here?
While passing the mining settlement of Kolstock, Maeve heard the sounds of battle.
Hey-ho! Into the fray, lads!
Expecting she would see monsters swarming dwarves, the Queen set off at a gallop to the rescue. Her braid blew about in the wind like a banner, showing her men in which direction to attack. The dwarves she saw, however, were not engaged in a battle against Shaelmars and Barbagazis. No, they were going at one another. Luckily, no weapons had yet been drawn, but given the dwarves have hands the size of bread loaves, this did not necessarily mean there would be no deaths.
Oi, lads!
Roared Gabor Zigrin.
What's this foolishness? Calm the hell down, damn it!
Gabor's intervention proved successful. The dwarves limited themselves to verbal jousting. Maeve, who was no stranger to barrack room talk, nonetheless turned crimson at the dwarves' cursing. Piecing together the obscenities, Maeve concluded they were debating an old quarrel about the height of a certain mountain, or rather of the twin peaks atop it. One of them lay in the territory of Clan Dahlberg, while the other in the Hoogsland. Each family felt their peak was the highest, all measurements indicating the contrary being total fabrications.
Queen?
Started Gabor, nervously chewing his moustache.
They're asking if you, as yin impartial and a fair-minded wench to boot, wouldn't wish to settle their Egypt squabble once and for all?
Maeve knew well that this type of age-old quarrel could easily end in bloodshed, so she resolved to help. Representatives of the two clans gave her a strange mechanism she was to use to measure elevation. All that was left was for the Queen to button her coat up to the neck and scale the twin peaks.
Time to end this Glicot feud, once and for all. Time to end this Glicot feud.
Okay. This is where the treasure is, isn't it? Yeah.
When she and her force had traveled half the way to the first, she heard a long roar that made snow shells detach and descend. Without waiting for her scouts to return with reports, Maeve drew her sword.
It did turn out to be a fight. Okay, that's pretty good. Dude.
Fear not. We shall achieve our goal.
Again and again and again.
Eyes up, lads! They're flying straight for us! Yeah, yeah! You mad? Don't shake that! This could hurt.
One bolt's all I need.
We'll catch them all!
Well, crap.
The chase is on! Ow!
It's about to die anyways. Flippin' floppin'.
Her Majesty knows what she's doing.
Aye.
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
Damn. Good, I got all the target up there. Good.
Ah, should have listened to me old lady.
Quite the clever little contraption they gave us. Work of a gnome, of course.
This harvest, we'll be reaping black-clad heads.
Not supposed to be any smoke.
Alright, so I was gonna use that to get him back. Oh well.
Give me a target.
Left, right, left, right.
Rude.
My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
You sure about that?
Watch your heads! Yeah, yeah! We'll catch 'em all!
Our ballista, your command.
Scheiß! In Tray!
Take those measurements and let's be gone from this place.
Yep. Destroyed.
The Lyrians managed to repel the monsters and reach both peaks. Upon each, Meve ordered her men to take the measurements. While waiting, she admired the breathtaking view of the Mahakaman Massif. The dwarven contraption left no room for doubt. The peak within the Dahlberg clan territory was 2 feet higher than that within Hoog territory. Gabor was clearly displeased with the results.
Oh, damn it all! I'd hoped you'd prove Brewer's clan was in the right. He'd have been content to see the Dahlbergs knocked down a peg or two, and possibly he'd have been more inclined to help you,
said the dwarf in frustration. Then, after a pause, he added,
Although, only you saw what the device showed, Queen. Perhaps you could, recalibrate the results a wee bit?
I don't want a full supply. Yeah, the true measurements.
To lie would be simple, true.
said Meve.
Yet to forget the matter would be so much harder. No, Gabor, I shall tell the truth.
The Queen's tone made it clear the discussion was over. Gabor let the matter lie, and Meve's force began its descent down the mountainside.
I just can't do that.
The dwarves of both clans had been waiting with bated breath for the expedition's return and report. As soon as Meve announced the results, the Dahlbergs rolled barrels of beer out into the square and began to celebrate. Naturally, the Hoogs were disappointed, yet they accepted Meve's results as final. At last, they had come to trust her.
Okay, still good ending.
Dalbergs are the dwarves we need. Every hoogs are dunderheed. Dalbergs are the dwarves we need. Every hoogs are dunderheed.
I actually really wanted to attack these guys because screw them. Oy. Dang it, and there's loot there too.
There, milady.
Whispered one of the scouts.
Left of the path.
Meve squinted. The Nilfgaardians had taken shelter from the falling snow under a rocky outcropping. The smell of roasting meat wafted from their campfire, and echoes of laughter could be heard. The black-clad soldiers had reason to celebrate. They had just decimated Meve's company without even drawing their weapons. Meve's gaze caught something else. A metal container into which the Nilfgaardians tossed bones once they'd been gnawed clean. It looked strangely familiar. Only after a moment did the Queen understand it was an overturned Lyrian helmet dug out of the snowy grave of one of her men.
The Horsons.
Oh, they're dead. They're
They'll
so
pay for
dead.
this.
Meve, asking you last time, keep a cool head.
Whispered Gabor.
You want vengeance? I get it. But think of the cost. If so much as a hair gets plucked from Owain's head, Bruver'll never forgive you, and you can kiss any hope of aid goodbye.
Silence followed, finally to be broken by one of the scouts.
Milady, what's the order? Do we attack?
Oh, God damn it. Oh, I want to kill them so bad. If everything's telling me he's working with the Nilfgaardians anyways. So
Await my
screw
signal.
it.
The Queen stepped out from behind the rocks, put a
attacking
hand to
him.
her mouth, and yelled.
Owain! Owain at Clenbog!
All laughter stopped in the Nilfgaardian camp. Moments later, a sumptuously dressed man stepped in front of the wagons. He wiped a thick sauce from his lips, then bowed with an exaggerated courtly flourish.
Queen, my condolences. That avalanche. Oh, what an unfortunate turn of events.
The mountains can be unpredictable.
Meve said with a shrug.
Accidents can happen at any time.
Oh, yes?
Even right now.
Meve leapt towards the emissary, placed two hands on his neck, and hurled him into a rock with all her might. The Nilfgaardian's head slammed against the stone, and his skull crumpled with a sickening crash. He fell to the ground and writhed a few final tremors.
Attack!
Meve roared.
Take no prisoners!
Or deplete their deck. Interesting.